Hello and welcome to another episode of Open Book. I am Billy Price, co-founder of BILLY Footwear. Now, if you're new to Open Book, welcome. If you have visited Open Book before, welcome back. So just a quick little backstory on what Open Book is. So we have lots and lots of customers that reach out to us all the time, and they're wanting to ask us questions about how things are going with the brand, how the brand came to be, what's coming in the future. But also, we get a lot of customers that reach out with just the most amazing, amazing stories. Now, with each purchase that one makes through billyfootwear.com, they have the opportunity to leave a review. And oftentimes what happens is when those are leaving a review of the product, they're also leaving just this incredible testimony of how the shoes have touched their lives. And then just kind of commenting on possibly some of the challenges that one may have, and then the overcoming and the moving forward, and just amazing, amazing testimonies. Well, today we have a very, very special opportunity to talk to a family that fits in that category. So let me introduce you. They're already on the screen, the family Berghoffers.
Hi. Hello.
So on the screen right now, we have mom, we have Paige, we have dad, we have Charles, and we have son, we have Charlie.
And another one.
So I think a fantastic place to start. First off, guys, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us today. There's a lot of people chiming in right now and watching, and I think that your story will just add a ton of value to be able to share with the audience. So I just kind of want to give you the mic and just kind of, I think a great place to start would be just talking about Charlie's story.
Wonderful. Please start with CP plus 2.
So CP plus 2, Charles, Paige, Charlie, and Paisley, and the Berghoffers. CP, which is our initials, representing cerebral palsy. How ironic that we would marry and then have a child with cerebral palsy at birth. So it's been a very special 10 years. We've had an interesting ride, many, many adventures, ups and downs, and of course we wouldn't change anything for the world. And he's given us many opportunities in the CP world, and it's been a fun ride with Charlie, and so we're here given this opportunity right now with BILLY Footwear. We're excited.
And of course, Charlie's here walking and standing, and we never knew that would happen because the doctors in the beginning gave us a laundry list of probably the worst things you could ever hear as a parent, where he wouldn't walk, he would be blind, wheelchair bound, or, that he wouldn't do things that, both Paige and I did as a young child. And at birth, that's very frustrating to hear, and as your first child.
Yeah.
So Charlie got diagnosed with the laundry list, right? Ataxic, spastic. He has difficulty in balance and coordination. He has resistance with his muscles. And so that added on to the cerebral palsy is, I'm not going to tell people spastic, ataxic cerebral palsy. Hemiplegia, which is half the side. So all of that, we say gibberish. We say, he's just going to change his process, CP, change his process. So that's what we've done for the last 10 years. We have adjusted, we've changed his process, and we took disabilities and said, forget that, we're going to make everything an ability and just move forward and try and adjust. And so one of the things that has been very helpful is the shoes, because he has to wear braces. So Charlie he might never tie shoes. So as we were showing you, he can slip it on and pull the zipper. It's firm. Oh, go for it, let's take it on. Pull that zipper. Let's get it up. Pull that zipper. Awesome. Go ahead. Oh, there you go.
Got it. Nailed it.
Still some work, but hey, we're getting it. That's another step. And the things we learned with Charlie is it doesn't work on the first try. We do it 100 times, but we finally get it. And that's an accomplishment, and we're so excited. So shoes have been very helpful, and we're so blessed to be able to meet you and to speak about the shoe and how beneficial they've become. because my wife, we would go and buy some shoes or try to, and it'd be like, there is nothing out there. And so these shoes were the first that actually could fit, could work for his abilities, and gave him support around the ankle and the firmness at the bottom where his foot is, so where he could stand up on his own and feel comfortable at moving.
And he could feel like a regular kid too.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're cool shoes. They're not funny looking. You know, sometimes they are, not ours, Billy's, but other shoes were just very wide and they just looked funny. They always looked like a special shoe. And we wanted him to feel like every other kid. And so these have been great. We have the tennis shoes, we have the high tops, the lows. They're just great. And as a family, we have, I think I've counted now, 28 pairs. And that's not just for Charlie, that's for Mommy and Daddy and our little one. We have a 2-year-old too, and she's got probably 10 pairs. And so we love them. They're easy for the little ones too, just to put on. I wear them literally every single day. I get so many compliments. They're just easy. They're easy to put on, easy to take off. If I need to go somewhere, I can easily put them on. So, and they're stylish. That's what I love. Because you can't find stylish tennis shoes. They're just tennis shoes. So it's been fun to wear them every day, pretty much. So.
And when they get bigger, then our shoes are going up because I'm getting bigger.
Yeah, they get bigger. Your shoes get bigger, or your feet get bigger and bigger, and your braces get bigger, and then you got bigger shoes. And yep.
Well, I got to say, guys, I mean, that everything you said is just so incredibly heartwarming, and there's so many different elements of everything you guys just said that we can unpack. I mean, first off, when you're talking about the shoes, I mean, having it look like a normal shoe, having it mainstream, I mean, that really was something that was very, very important to us. I mean, it was a matter of trying to make something with the function, but also making something that was mainstream that everyone can enjoy. So when you guys, I mean, I know you're very active on social media, and I mean, I see the pictures that you guys post of the whole family, having success and enjoying the same product. I mean, it's so heartwarming for me, because that was kind of a mission that we set off to do very, very early on. So, I mean, that's just on the shoe side. But the other thing, Charles, like what you were talking about, that just taking the letters CP, about changing the process, about figuring out, like, kind of getting a baseline of where we're at, and then making steps. I mean, they could be very, very small steps, but there's still steps moving forward. I just absolutely love that mindset that you guys embody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we are ones that don't listen. And so when the doctors gave us that laundry list, we looked at each other and we said, no way, this is not true.
We're going to go our own path.
Yep, we went our own path with Charlie, and he is so advanced compared to other kids, and we hear it all the time, it's because of the parents. And we appreciate that, but we also appreciate that he does have the mindset to have confidence and to be kind and to be, to have that perseverance to move forward and keep going with us, because if he didn't want to do that, it'd be really hard on us challenge-wise. So we're happy that he is following along with us and takes risks, right? Like he was saying, he plays the drums or piano now. He may never be a pianist, but at least he tries, and that's the goal, right? We all try things,
Like soccer.
Play soccer.
Yeah, soccer and swimming, right?
Yeah, swimming,
Puzzles.
Chess.
You're a great puzzler. He does 1,000-piece puzzles.
Yeah,
He
awesome.
loves puzzles. Yeah, you're doing a 1,000-piece one right now.
Hey, he doesn't feel on the board.
It's too big.
Well, speaking of trying, Charlie, I think you've also tried out horseback riding. Isn't that correct?
Yep, he horseback rides too for therapy, which has been an amazing opportunity for him. And being here in Texas, it's the thing to do, obviously, being out in the country. So he loves to ride horses. He's done it for 5 years now, and it's been great therapy for him. And just loves it. He's kept his core up, and it's been great.
Riding my bicycle.
Riding your bicycle too. Yes.
Yeah. So when you first started talking about your story, just really early on, I mean, like, taking it all the way back to the birth, really, I couldn't help but relate in a small matter. And it was the day that I was really laying on a hospital bed. I mean, going from a transition between someone being an able-bodied then to be someone in a wheelchair. And it was a moment where all of a sudden I could walk, and then all of a sudden I couldn't walk. And when I got hit with that news that I had a spinal cord injury and I'd broken my neck, and then you get that news that you'll never walk again, I just didn't have the ability to process that, because it hit me with so much. Well, it was just so surreal. I mean, I just didn't have the tools to be able to figure out what to do, like how do you figure out how to move forward from something like that? And I can't help but think that really early in the game, I mean, I know you guys chose to ignore that and chose, like, you know what, we're going to make a new path. We're going to accept where we're at. We're going to move forward one at a time. But I just can't help but acknowledge that I'm sure that when you first got that news, it was so much. And can you touch on, like, the weight of that kind of news? Because I'm sure there's a lot of other parents out there that have received that news as well, and I'm sure they may be struggling with trying to process that type of information.
And also, the news given to you by the doctors is not in a nice, sincere way. It's like they give you it and they walk out, and there's no pamphlet, there's no assistant, there's nothing to, like, help you along to, like, take the next steps. So it was literally probably weeks, months of just like, what do we do?
Yeah, we were he was in, he had a natural delivery at a birth center, and then we had complications when he came out, so he was transported to the hospital. Then we were actually released that day and sent home, and then so we were sent to Seattle Children's, and he was having seizures, and the first couple of days, I mean, actually it was the second day we were in, the doctor came in and said, I was in there by myself, my husband had stepped out, and it was, your son will never see, he will never walk, he will never hear, he will never, I mean, it was everything. And I was sitting there with him, holding him, and I'm like by myself going, what is going on? I'm a first time mom. I don't even know what to say. And it was just devastating. And I remember we weren't staying at the hospital. They were taking care of him, so we would go home in the evening. And for the first time, I remember my husband just standing in the kitchen, and he broke down and he was crying. I've never seen him. We've been together since middle school. We've been together for 26 years. I've never seen him cry like that. And I knew that it had hit him hard. Obviously, he was a father, and I mean, it was devastating. You just don't know what to do. And I think we just were like, let's just push forward and let's go for this, and let's get through this. And we're gonna, he was on seizure medication for many, many months, and we decided we're gonna kind of weed him off ourselves. And the doctors were like, he's doing fantastic, and we're like, yay, we're not doing the seizure medication, it's working. So we kind of went more of a holistic route, and lots of craniosacral therapy and acupuncture and movement therapy, just everything that we could do, physical therapy, just everything we could do that wasn't invasive with drugs. And I feel like it's helped so much. And if you can try to go that natural route a little bit and do that, it's just fantastic on their nervous system. And so for him, it's worked, and we've plugged along with that for many, many years. So yeah.
And Billy, as we look back, this is why maybe people have gravitated to watching Charlie and to watching us, is that ability to throw all of that noise away, to say it's not true, we're going to move forward. Like, you had to at some point throw all that away and say, let's just move forward. This is my life. It's an accident. It happened. Move forward. And so we thought, if Charlie's getting an audience, and if maybe people can see his picture more with the walker, and say, hey, it's okay. Accidents happen either at birth or during your life. And so at some point, maybe they might say, or they have a birth and they have the same type of scenario we had, and they say, have you heard about Charlie?
Yeah.
So Charlie is the word. Have you heard about Charlie? And so that we could be used as a reference to like, okay, now why don't we take kind of the similar steps? So why don't we see if we can find something to help us? And so we're working towards being that reference for others, because you don't know how many times people have come up to us and say, I think there's something different about my child.
Yeah.
And what do I do? Because we are very public and not a lot of people are. They choose to isolate their kids.
We love to be out.
And we like to be out.
We like when people ask us questions.
Yeah.
We thrive on that so we can give information.
Nobody the mask.
And we just love to be out and about. And so it's fun to answer the questions for people that do have, any information. We've had many people run up to us and tell us, like, there's something just a little different with our son, and maybe you can guide us to a different direction or give us some information or whatever. We try to help, best we can. So it's been an interesting ride for the Lakes. It's been fun though. It's been fun giving information, getting information, learning new information, and no, it's been good. So
yeah. Well, it's so on a humorous side, I look at your Instagram profile, and it talks about lover of espresso, lover of plant foods.
Yep.
But it's also mom of a child with CP, and it's also being an advocate, and being that advocate and being able to get the information out and being able to tell a testimony that you can use it in words and language and with emotion, that because you've gone through it, you really have. And it's not a matter of like trying to like set yourself as an example or set yourself up as inspiration. It's like, look, we're just living our lives, and we're getting through, and this is what's worked. And I just really commend you for everything you guys are doing. I mean, you're really adding value to, well, you're doing a good thing.
It was a long process. I mean, I blamed probably myself for 8 years until my daughter was born. And when she was born, it was like this healing and this weight lifted off my shoulder that, I blame myself for his birth and everything that went on. And I shouldn't have done that, but I did as a mom. I think moms do that. We inhale everything and we take on everything. But when my daughter was born, it was literally like the moment she was born, it was like the weight was lifted off, and I was like, I have this perfect child that I need to not be blaming myself for everything that's gone on. So yeah, it's been a long process for myself. So, as a family, big process, but for myself, it's been a lot. So
yeah.
And also know you had said that Paige, my wife, is just a mother with a child with CP. We all live CP. We all live with disability. You don't know how many times I try to walk like Charlie so I can know what he feels like. So I'm looking funny and walking different because I want to feel what it feels like for his body, because I have to realize, like, he can't do the things I do, but I can adjust so he can adjust, and then we can kind of work through it together. And those are the steps we take, I think. It can be 100 million times when we do it, we do it. So, and it's okay, we all live with it. And so it's okay. We live with it, and we're kind of just navigating through life with it.
Yep.
That's so good. That's so good. I mean, you're wow. I just don't have the words, really. I mean, your family strength is just incredible. I mean, just you set the example, really. And it's not to say that it's, well, so if I were to relate it back to kind of like my story and whatnot, I mean, early on, I went to a really dark place. Like when I got hurt, I mean, my mind got polluted with this mindset of it's not worth living if you can't walk. I mean, that's what I was feeding myself. And it really took me to a really dark place. And it took a decision. Actually, it took us an association, like a safe association around me, to kind of feed me good information, going like, you know what, just because you're in a wheelchair doesn't mean life's over. And it's like, yeah, you can't walk, but that doesn't mean life stops. So what it did was it turned, my mind shifted from focusing on what I lost to focusing on what I still had. And in doing so, all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I can lean into this problem. And it was a mindset of like, you know what, I'm going to do the best I can with what I have, and we'll go from there. But the thing is, as soon as you make that choice, it's not like it's just Candyland all of a sudden. It's not like all the problems go away. The issues are still there. but it allows you to grow and take those small steps. So, I mean, Paige, I mean, my gosh, I mean, that I can't imagine like having to hold on to that emotion, but, and plus the strength it took to make that choice to move forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
Say hi.
Hey,
And
Paisley.
she came in the picture.
And
Oh, bye.
So one thing about Paisley, I mean, when I'm watching you guys, I mean, you talk about that, having an older brother and having a younger sister. I mean, those two just seem like thick as thieves. I mean, they just seem very, very, I mean, brother and sister, I mean, brother and sister don't always get along at the same time, but also just so much love and protection there. It really is truly cool to watch.
Yeah, we weren't sure at first when we brought her home, and I was like, oh gosh, you know, the sensory of the loud noise sometimes for Charlie, and her crying. But he jumped right in as a big brother, and I have these photos of him, you know, reading to her on the floor, and she's laying in her boppy, and I was like, oh God, I just saw them the other day. It brings back so many memories because he just loves her, and he always has to include her in everything. We were at the hospital yesterday for his appointment, and he said, can I get you a sticker? And Charlie says, no, can I get my sister a sticker, please? So he got her a sticker, and he got her one of the little things out of the vending machine, the little toys out of the vending machine for her. So he brings home things for her, and it's just heartwarming because you just don't know how the reaction is going to be with him and her and together. And it's been wonderful. It's been a great connection. It was a close to our chapter of our family of children. So it was definitely worth it. Yeah, for sure. So it's been fun seeing the two of them fight and scream at each other and love each other and hug each other, and it's wonderful. So yeah.
And also, Billy, if I did not give her a girl, I would not be in the picture right now.
Yes, so we have a boy and our girl. So yeah, we're very happy. So
That's awesome. Well, I also know that it seems like there's been a lot of fun opportunities for Charlie recently. I know that the Runway of Dreams, for example, that seemed like it was an awesome opportunity.
that was a great opportunity. He was asked to walk in the New York Fashion Week virtual show because we can't be in New York during this time. So yeah, he did that, and that was just a blast. Just little footsteps into something, and so he's getting in there to do modeling. He's been doing modeling for a clothing company here in Austin, and that's been real fun. And they've loved Paisley too. So the two of them modeling together, showing Charlie with his walker, and then a child with no walker just together, and including the two of them has been great. Great inclusive modeling for them. So that's been real fun, and he's been doing some other things, some videos and things actually for the horse riding. So that's some new opportunities coming up too, and some past videos he's done through YouTube. So yeah, he's really enjoying it. He's kind of a ham in front of the camera. I think he's a little tighter now. He's been in school all day, but he definitely is a ham and loves to be in front of the camera. And when he's out there, he puts on that smile and he puts that thumb up. You show that thumb? Yeah, you put
There it is.
He's got that thumb in his photos and Instagram. So yeah.
So speaking of Instagram, for those that want to follow Charlie, can you tell us what that handle is?
So it's Charlie or Little Prince, and then _ Charlie and the number 4. So Little Prince _ Charlie the number 4. And that's his. Yeah. So follow him and see all his adventures and things that are coming up for him. Exciting new things. So
Oh, go ahead. Stop.
So
don't look at me.
You got the mic, Charlie.
Say to the world.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, before I sign us off, first off, thank you so much again for your time today. This is such a treat. Before I sign us off, I just wanted to give you the mic one more time, just to share whatever's on your heart. If there's anything else we didn't really cover that you'd like to talk about, the floor is yours.
Absolutely. And I want to get back to what you were saying about your experience and how you went to a dark spot. I resonate with people that are born normal, I should say normal, and then they have an accident because they've now lived both sides. Unlike Charlie was born this way, he doesn't know the other side, even though we live with him and we kind of live it. But it's harder what you went through, much harder. I think we're the strength for Charlie, so he sees his strength like, hey, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm gonna move forward. But you kind of had to live with your mind like, this is the way I was, and now I'm this way. And I'm so glad that you got to a point to where you actually created something that you needed. Because what you created, Charlie needs.
Yep, you
and other
changed
kids,
the world of many people.
And so, we're so blessed to talk to you today and tell you that was beneficial for us to get to get a challenge accomplished. What he's accomplishing is walking. And even though he's still learning at 10 years old, people are fascinated to see a 10-year-old learning how to walk. He's wobbling like a duck, you know? And so, but he's gonna do it. I know he's gonna meet that challenge and walk. He might be slow, but at least he'll walk, you know, we'll get there. But because of the Billy shoes, it's been beneficial for him to walk. So you lead by example is what I wanted to say. You really do. You are not somebody that's pushing a shoe to say, oh, this could work for you, but I have no idea. You are saying, this worked for me, and it could work for you. So we thank you for that. We thank you for creating something that's beneficial to us. And because of Charlie's now public appearance, we're getting so much attraction. Maybe that's because of you. We're getting public appearance, right?
Every seeing us on your.
So we thank you for his modeling thing now, and maybe at some point he will be a model that advocates disability. That's kind of the goal. And at the same time, you know, we have something in the pipeline to where maybe we'll have kind of a series of books about Charlie. We really want to do that. We were signed by an awesome publisher, but we have that on hold. That's kind of the next step. So we have things for him, but we also want him to get an education and move forward with school. And we want him to get the basic fundamentals of life, like walking, right? And progress with swimming. And just, you know, it took him 3 years to learn how to swim. 3 years with a master swimmer, and then me and mom, you know, really helping him to get without a life jacket. Because when you have one side of your body that doesn't function properly, it's hard to keep your head above water. You know, so it's hard, you know, and so because of all these great things are happening, it's because of Billy.
It really is. And his walking is just, you know, he started walking about independently about a year ago. It was about this time a year ago. He had on his Billy shoes. He had on the high tops, and he was actually sitting right here in this spot. And I had my video camera on, and I said, come on, let's just get up and start walking. And he's like, I can do this. And he literally walked across the room and sat in a chair, and we just were like, what is going on? I mean, we just were like, we couldn't believe it. We were in awe. And he had his shoes on and his braces on, and he just did fantastic. So
it's like Wonder.
Wonder, like the movie Wonder.
Wonder.
It is magic.
Wonder. It's like CPU.
Why don't you stand the camera
And walk a little bit.
do a little walking?
So you can show Billy.
You stand by yourself?
There you go.
There you go.
There it is.
Hands, we got no hands on him.
Well,
Yeah, he's doing good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we thank you, Billy, for everything. The shoes have been fantastic. So.
Oh, well, it's sincerely our pleasure. It's sincerely our pleasure. And the thing is, I mean, I may be the face of the company, but there's just a huge team that allows this thing to work. And it's also just the incredible grassroots exposure that we've had. I mean, just keep telling the story, getting the word out. I mean, even the experiences that you were telling me about yesterday, you know, you go in there and you show them the shoes, and then they're like, oh my gosh, like we need to tell it to people. So just being able to continue to tell that story and to be able to just share experiences, it truly is incredible how far a good story can go. It really is.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, everyone, thank you very much for tuning into this week's Open Book. We'll have another Open Book next week. Well, with that, enjoy the rest of the day.
Bye, Billy.